Welcome back to another episode of TwoTreys podcast. It's me, Sun Trey, and with me as always is Pop Trey. Pops, we're gonna let them know why we do this every single episode.
Salute, salute. First and foremost, assalamu alaikum, son.
Walaikum salam.
Indeed. Well, we jump on this YouTube thing, man, as a father-son tag team duo. The channel is to inspire and bridge the gap between the youth and the elders, father and sons, bringing perspectives of the truth and the falsehoods, and to just reflect on love and peace, and really delve in hot topics, coming from a father to son perspective, son to father perspective, and just from a man to man positive perspective. And man, I enjoy it every time I get on here with you, man.
Yes, same for me too, Pops. And for those tuning in, if you guys are enjoying the show, please go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. It does a lot for us. Shows the support. We love it, and it shows us that you guys are enjoying the show. So we'll definitely show some love there. Let me go ahead and cool. We're good. Awesome. So, Pops, you want to go ahead and get into who we have for our honorable mention of today?
Yes, sir. If you don't mind pulling up the picture for for Dr. Christine Darden. Dr. Christine Darden. She may be familiar to some. She may be familiar to most. I believe a movie was made depicting herself. Called Hidden Figures. So let's read about Dr. Darden. North Carolina native Dr. Christine Darden made history as one of NASA's hidden figures as an aerospace engineer and mathematician. Born in Monroe, North Carolina, 1942, Christine M. Darden graduated from high school in Asheville as the class valedictorian and received a scholarship to attend Hampton Normal and Agriculture Institute. There, Darden completed her BS degree in mathematics education and went on to earn her MS degree in applied mathematics from Virginia State College in 1967. Shout out to Virginia State. She completed her doctorate in mechanical engineering from George Washington University in 1983. At first, Darden was a mathematics teacher in Virginia high schools. However, after receiving her master's degree, Darden became a data analyst, also known as a human computer for NASA, despite being qualified as an engineer. In 1973, after confronting her supervisor, she was promoted to aerospace engineer, where she worked on the science of sonic booms, marking advances on sonic boom minimization and writing over 50 articles on the subject. 17 years later, she was appointed as the technical leader of NASA's Sonic Boom Group of the Vehicle Integration Branch. A decade later, Dr. Darden became the director in the Program Management Office of the Aerospace Performance Center. In October 1994, Dr. Darden became the Deputy Program Manager of the TU-144 Experiments Program, a high-speed research program at NASA. She was also the director in the Program Management Office of the Aerospace Performance Center 5 years later. Dr. Darden served as a technical consultant for various governments and private projects and is the author of more than 50 publications on high-lift wing design. Dr. Darden has received the Dr. A.T. Weathers Technical Achievement Award in 1985, the Senior Executive Career Development Fellowship in 1994, and the Certificate of Outstanding Performance from NASA 10 times. Wow. 1973 to 2003. She has won NASA medals, the 1987 Candace Award for Science and Technology, and the 1988 Black Engineer of the Year Award. Christine Darden in the control room of NASA laying the unitary plan. Wow. Shout out to Dr. Christine Darden, a true pioneer and engineer from our people.
Yes, shout out to Christine Darden. All right, we'll go ahead and get into the topic of our conversation today.
Indeed. So we got a hot
Pops,
one.
you actually came to me about it, and like I told you, I would tell the world, if you have sensitive ears, this is the time for you to click off because we will be
Well, maybe.
diving into some sensitive topics for some.
Well,
you
well,
know,
it could be a sensitive topic
mm-hmm.
only if you are looking at it from one angle. But the angle that I want to touch on, I believe that a lot of people would chime in and actually agree, right?
I'll say this, fair enough. If you've been tuning into the show up to this point, I'm pretty sure you're used to what we'd like to talk about. So this isn't anything different. For our newcomers, though, yeah, we're gonna get into it for sure.
Well, what
Pops,
you want
to let them know what the topic of the conversation is. Dive into it.
Well, basically it's like this.
Yeah.
Let's just put this in a hypothetical situation, right? And we'll let the viewers, say whether it's a wrong thing or a right thing. All right. But you have the video queued up though, right?
I do.
All right. So hold
on. All right.
Let's just say, I'm talking to you now, son. You are the president of a country, right? And I'm a president of my country.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, what I'll allow in my country, I now tell you, and I'm actually helping you and your people aid. Okay. Let's just say, food, money, aid. The stuff that human beings, need, right? To survive and to live. Okay.
Correct.
So I'm the president of my country. You're the president of yours. I'm handing you or loaning you or giving you aid from the kindness of my heart, so to speak. Then all of a sudden, because I allow certain type of activity in my country, I tell you, hey Trey, I want you to sign a bill in law that would allow the same activity I allow in my country now to be in your country. Well, here's the kicker.
It's kind of messed up of you to do that, man. I thought you were my friend.
Hold on. Well, I only just give you this document to sign, but I tell you, if you don't sign this document to allow the activity to go on in your country, that I'm going to take away the aid that I'm providing for you and your people if you don't sign this. How would you feel about that?
Man, I thought you were my friend. Okay. That doesn't sound like what a friend does.
Right. Well, that doesn't sound like a very good person at all, does it? That sounds like I'm a bully. I'm strong arming
you. Yeah, you are.
Right.
That would be it.
You. I'm being, no, I don't mean this in any kind of offense, what I mean, but I'm being an Indian giver. Right? Based upon certain activities that you're not going to allow in your country that I want you to allow in your country, right? But it's a practice that only, you know what I'm saying, that only, so many people engage in, okay? And it's accepted in my country, right? I would be totally wrong and looked upon as a bully, right? You would take that very offensively, and you were like, damn, Dad, how dare you, right?
Fair enough.
Okay. All right. Roll the footage.
Roll the footage. Gotcha. Pull this up.
I found this to be very, very, very shocking. Not shocking in the sense of, I didn't know that these this type of way, you know, a certain government acts, but to put it on display, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of, you know, well, this roll footage. This is.
Is it playing on your end? Can you hear it?
I can hear you, but nah, it's not playing yet. It's buffered. All right, hold on.
You see it? Okay.
All right. Go ahead and hit play. So.
Paul Masoke is gay and he has AIDS. Sexuality is already illegal, so we've changed his name and hidden his face. This clinic provides to people with a high risk of HIV infection, such as sex workers and gay men. He comes here to get life-saving drugs, but he's worried the new law will make that impossible.
I will not be coming here because I don't think the government will allow us to be here or to access medicine because they might think that the hospital is promoting us, which is not true.
Here in Parliament, the anti-homosexuality bill was passed in December after years of discussion. It increases jail to homosexual acts and says medics and teachers must report homosexuals or they'll go jailed. After some delays, President Yoweri Museveni said he'd sign it into law.
I'm going to sign the bill.
It's widely supported here, but it's attracted heavy criticism from abroad, especially Uganda's main financial and military supporter, the US. President Barack Obama says Museveni shouldn't sign it. But that won't go down well at home. Government Minister Alex Onzima has threatened to resign over it. Although Uganda's population is one of the fastest growing in the world, he's concerned that could be reversed if everyone becomes gay.
Homosexuality is worse than malignant cancer. It is worse than HIV/AIDS. It is worse than terrorism, the one which you are fighting left and right. Because it will just wipe out the whole humanity. Be left to.
Religion is important to people in Uganda. Here at the side of the street, you can buy paraphernalia just outside a church. It was actually some religious leaders who played a key role in mobilizing the population to support the anti-homosexuality bill. Although in reality, the existing law is rarely enforced. Few people go to court or to jail, and it's unlikely that the new law could be fully enforced either. But gay rights activists say the rhetoric surrounding it, which has now gone on for years, has made life increasingly difficult and dangerous. Medics say the bill contradicts ethical codes and health policies. Legal experts say it's unconstitutional. But others say it's a convenient distraction from widespread corruption and lack of public services. But Paul and others like him can only hope the politics won't cut off the medicines that keep them alive. Malcolm Webb, Al Jazeera, Kampala, Uganda.
All right. Now, I think you may have missed another video where America, I want to say his name is Carney. He got on the microphone and stated that if Uganda didn't sign a gay rights bill, that America would take away aid. All right.
Yeah, I mean, in that video, you did hear that if the Ugandan president wanted to sign the anti-gay bill, which has nothing to do with us, whether you're for it or against it, it still has nothing to do with us. Like, that's their people, that's their elected officials. So we have no say in what they do. And if we choose to be aligned with them, well, we already knew that before going into alignment with them, that was their customs. So why would we go in knowing what their customs are, right? Make ourselves aligned with them, and then try to use our traditions and customs here onto them. Now, if we don't agree with them, we should never agree to be with them in the first place.
Well, here lies.
But it is effed up for us to even think that we have a say in anything. Like that's literally saying that you have something to say in someone else's house. Like, nah, you're at that point you're a Karen. If you do anything beyond that, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? People look at you funny. Be like, yo, what is wrong with this motherfucker trying to tell me what to do in my house? But what are you gonna say, Pops?
And that alone, separate from the activity, okay, separate from, you know, gays, period. All right, let's put that to the side and far side. Here's what I'm saying. Here's what, you know, is I want to say is missing out of this bigger picture. Here's a country that's providing aid to a people who desperately or who has been using it for that, to take care of their people, right? America is saying you have to implement this activity and these rights for this to be acceptable in your country. And if you don't, that we're not going to give you no more aid, no more help for your people, gay or straight. I'm just trying to, you know, put that out there. Like, the president said, or the government of the United States is saying, if you don't accept gays in this particular activity in your continent, okay, this is Africa. Uganda is just a country in Africa, a nation in Africa. But Africa is a continent. So if you don't allow this to happen in your country, we're going to take away the aid from you and leave you. Let's just say, you know, there's children who you know, require and look upon this particular aid to help them. Peace and love, Nick. You know what I'm saying? Yo, chime in, Nick. Let us know what you think, man. You know, is this right? I'm not talking about the activity of gays, you know, and what have you. I'm only speaking upon, does America have the right to say we are going to take away aid from you if you don't sign this bill to allow homosexuality in your country? And do they have a right to say no? I would say they have a right to say no. But why is the consequence why is the consequence more severe than the act or activity that America is saying, you know, allow that to happen in your country? You understand what I'm saying, son?
No, I do.
You know, why is the consequence so severe? You know what I mean? So you're gonna let children starve? You're gonna let? I mean, hey, I'm not against America sending help to our people in Africa, but our people here in America, I mean, I can't, you know, neglect and forget that we still haven't had any type of reparations, you know what I'm saying, or given any type of, you know, startup or aid, okay, as Black Americans, for the suffering and the continuing of suffering that we are, you know, put upon. All right. I'm just, you know, I'm all for us first, but I'm not against helping people that look like us outside of this country. I'm just saying, what about us? And then, if you're going to force or try to force another country to have this, law put in place, of course, nobody asked straight men or straight women, what do you think about gay rights and what have you? And if they did, we wouldn't have anything. I don't have anything to do with that. I mean, I just don't. I don't want to even, what you want to do is what you want to do, right? Who you go to bed with, who you marry, it's totally up to you, right?
Yeah, that's something I wanted to touch on. I don't see how politics and sexuality have anything to do with each other in the first place.
Nothing at all.
So I mean, both in the case of Uganda and the United States, they're both wrong. Uganda's wrong in making it a political thing in the first place, subjugating their people based on their sexuality. We're honestly wrong for feeling like we have an actual say in what they're doing in their country.
Right. And my thing is, have America given that ultimatum to, let's just say, Iraq, anywhere else where there will be people of color? I'm just curious. Why had they told China, you know what I mean, that, hey, I don't know if China has a gay rights bill or not. I'm just, hypothetically speaking. You know what I mean? Have they, given ultimatums like that to anybody else that they are giving aid to? And now I'm scratching my head, like, so the help that America has been given to other nations, they come with strings attached. Right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I like to look at things on like an individual basis. And yeah, I'm just like, yo, like if you're looking at two friends, right? And you say, yeah, we're friends. Hey, I see you're in a pickle. I'm gonna help you out in this pickle.
Right.
And then while you're in the pickle and I'm helping you out through the pickle, I'm like, yo, like I'm gonna only keep helping you though if you do this later on. And it's like that's fucked up, So just imagine, like, I tell you, you're in a pickle, and I'm like, all right, I'll help you out in this pickle, but you got to start speaking my family's language, which is different from the language or something like that. Like you're like, yo, right. What? Are you gonna like? That's not you're not a friend. That's like the devil. That's a deal with the devil.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, I'll you want $1 million? I'll give you $1 million. Yeah, no problem.
Right.
And then at the very end, but you gotta give me a leg. What? Wait, what did you just say?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, yo, like, nah. So
just like, it's now us here in America, straight men, straight women, we gotta look upon this and say, you know what's really going on here? As black men, as black straight men, what's really going on here? You understand what I'm saying? Things have been very loosey-goosey as far as what's being shown on TV, what's being allowed as far as, the transgender thing.
I mean, it's not like it was, I guess, when you were growing up, where people in America hid their sexuality. In today's time, it's totally different. Your sexuality is not hidden.
Right.
People have to respect it. If you, yeah. So it's a whole lot different, I'm sure, than when you were growing up.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like, for example, you didn't, like, when you were growing up, you didn't run into a person and based on their actual gender, right? You would say, if it was a female, you would say her. Well, nowadays you can't you can't really say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be out of wrong or out of turn by saying her and not asking that female, that woman, that her pronouns are actually them or something else. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
It's a funny time we live in. For sure.
It's and it's only a confusing time here in America. It ain't confusing anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? But just here in America, why is it so, like you said, confusing? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, I think America is wrong, flat out wrong. And I'm not going to use the pronoun we are doing this to Africa. Nah, this is that time where you separate yourself from the big bad bully, because you know that around the corner there might be a fight that's going to spark off. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not going to listen to the big bad bully, America, and allow whatever to go on in your country, it doesn't have to be a gay rights bill. It could be, put, I want $100 for every water bottle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to sell your gold to me. I want your resources. You know what I'm saying? Who is anybody to stop America from going into a country and just taking things like they've done in the past? You know what I'm saying? And then let's just say, some conflict does spark off with Uganda, with United States, and other countries in Africa. Wouldn't Africans be like, hey, my brothers and sisters over in America, are you with this? Are you going to back this military?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, when it comes to that, I don't think the African people of Africa have ever asked us of anything. They don't recognize us until they come here, and even then, they that is what it is. But
I can't say that, son, because with the whole going back to Kenya and Ghana,
yeah, what I mean? That's two countries out of like 70 of them. There's 70 countries in Africa, right?
Well, I'm not looking at it from an individual country, man. You gotta remember, Africa is a whole continent. So one country doesn't. I mean, to me, it doesn't speak for the whole continent. You know what I mean? But because it's a whole continent, you know what I mean, and that's why I'm kind of like surprised by America's words to Uganda, specifically Uganda. Like in any other country, I mean, it ain't going to be just Uganda. It's going to be Kenya. It's going to be Nigeria. You know what I mean? If they don't allow certain gay rights in their area or in their nation in the continent of Africa. Okay? So they are addressing the whole continent. You know what I mean? Salute, Dion. But what's I mean, I'm just saying, man. It's getting real. It's getting very, 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 very real. You know what I mean? And
no, for sure. Anytime you're talking about international, it's not even. It's weird to say because it's not really. It shouldn't be a thing, but societal norms on an international scale and talking about like what we do here and what y'all should be doing over there always causes trouble. We've seen that plenty of times, and leads to bad things like war. To be honest,
yeah. So I mean, it's going to
because people die behind their beliefs, and whether you believe in their ideology or not, that's their ideology. And there's something I can do, or you can do, or anyone that can do to change someone else's ideologies and to decide to stop giving aid to someone because your ideology is different from theirs is kind of effed up when you said you aligned with that person. I know tons of people that I'm friends with that I don't agree with them with everything that they do in their life. But I'm not over here shunning them. Hey, you better quit cigarettes or I'm not going to be your friend. That's not my place.
Right.
No,
Right.
that's not even what I'm saying. Actually, it's saying, oh, you better stop quitting cigarettes, or remember how I was helping you through your homework. I'm gonna stop doing that.
Right.
Like, why would I do that?
That's what I'm saying, man. It's providing the necessary, tools or food or money for the value in sustaining life, right? And I'm saying, if you don't allow this practice to go on in your country, I am not going to help you no more.
Yeah, I think what we can take note from this is that America is not a friend. When we deal with other countries, we are dealing with them as bullies, like you said before. So
now as black people here, do we agree with what America is saying, or are we just going to be quiet and silent like we have been and not say nothing at all? You know what I'm saying? I know this is nothing new in the political, genre or story, but I mean, I'm just now finding out about this. I don't know about everybody else. You know what I mean? I know the video said something about President Obama, so I'm assuming that this was taking place during his
time, and honestly, I've heard like recent news about it. To be honest, so I'm sure it's still taking place.
Yeah. So I mean, my thing is, yo, man, we need to wake up. We need to wake up fast, or we're going to be swept in the chastisement that is coming towards these evil acts. You know what I mean? And I'm just putting that out there. I'm gonna leave it at that. But America, you're wrong. I gotta say, American and U.S. government, you're wrong. If Africa does not want homosexuality to be a lawful thing or to be conducted, man, that's theirs. And like you said earlier, son, you can't come in my home and try to dictate it. You can't regulate my home, man. You know what I mean?
And it's like you mentioned China earlier, right? So, for example, China, like, we're not telling. I guess we have. I don't know how accurate what I'm about to say is, but we have not strong-armed China to stop child sweatshops. That's a thing we all deal that's going on in China to this day, and we get everything from China. So
exactly. You know what I mean? So
you can't pick and choose. What? You watched the Chris Rock his comedy show?
I fell asleep.
The special. You should have made it to the end. But in what he was saying, he was like, I think he was not PC, but essentially like choosing when something is wrong, when two things are wrong in front of you, and you only saying something about the one thing because there's an advantage to saying something about this one thing.
Right.
Because if you say something about this, you might get your ass whooped. So you won't say anything about it, right? But if you say something about this, everyone's gonna look at you like you're great. But yeah, he talked about that in the special, and I thought that was pretty funny. It pretty much relates to what we're talking about today. How America essentially picks and chooses to essentially pick on other countries to, I guess, gain an advantage. I don't know in what sense. It's probably most likely financially. But yeah, like the ones we pick on, we can pick on, we do so, and the ones that we know will put up a fight, we don't do so as much. So when it comes to on paper, now see, the issue is with America, we're so cocky. Well, America is so cocky because on paper we look at a place like Uganda, right, and we say, oh, look at these people from Uganda, their GDP is so and so. So they're not an issue to us at all. If we wanted to go over there and do what we do when people act out of line towards us, we can do it.
Right.
So we think based on their silly numbers, but America always seems to miss out. Like case example, Vietnam, like the spirit of the people that actually live there.
Right.
They don't need the tools and all the shebang of bangs to go at us.
Right.
A good example of that is the movie Avatar, right? They had the people that came onto that planet. You know, they had all of the latest technology and stuff, and these are people they were large blue people with spears,
right?
And that's all they had. They had spears, they had animals, and they had tanks, machine guns, and they lost.
Right. Right.
Because of their cockiness, thinking that just because these people are on paper the loser, you know what I'm saying, they don't have any money at all. These are tribal people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's no chance they can win. But nah, it's actually funny that those ones actually might put up the bigger fight, like what we saw in Vietnam. But I hope it doesn't get to that point though. But but I will say with topics of discussions like this, it tends when it relates to governments, they like to throw their hands.
Yeah, and like anything else, any other time, America is sticking nose in somebody else's kitchen that don't even belong there. You don't belong in Africa. I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry, but somebody got to tell America, you don't belong in Africa. You don't dictate nothing in Africa or any other country for that matter.
Well, we shouldn't be because we're not a dictatorship. So if we are dictating something, we are doing America is doing the wrong thing for sure.
Right, and this whole we thing, it ain't we. It's them. It's the government, man, because they're not asking the masses of people, of citizens here in America, whether they want to go to, whether they agree with everything or not. You know what I mean? It's just a collective few that's choosing to go about, doing all of this. And then other nations and countries are looking at the citizens and saying, do y'all agree with all of this, what your government is doing? Because y'all are saying nothing about it. So, Africa, I'm saying something about it. America is dead wrong. Plain and simple. I stand on that. But there's some other stuff going on too. All right? There's some other stuff going on. Son, you want to cue up the other video that you had?
Yeah, let me go ahead and pull that up for us.
All right. Shout out to D. Allen Warren. Salutes, man. Appreciate the love, brother. Nick, salute. Yo, Morgan Freeman. I don't know. I don't think that's the real Morgan Freeman, man. But salute to you too, man. Thank you for joining in on the live, man. You know what I mean?
Can you see his comments?
Yeah, I seen a couple of them.
Yeah, I didn't post him because I think he's what do you call it?
A troll?
Yeah.
Oh, we got a troll, man? Oh, wow.
We're doing big things.
Father and son duo, you know what I mean? Got a troll. Wow, we doing something totally wrong and upsetting some people out there in the world. Well, so what? You know what I mean? You're Morgan Freeman, go get your son. You know what I mean? Y'all y'all do a podcast together, man. I'm doing a podcast with my son. Man. Hate me. I don't care. It don't bother me. But off that, man.
I hope we don't get it's not whatever. Forget what I said. These guys are so cool. It's a video from Abba and Preach. They were talking about this before, and we had discussed it a little bit, and so yeah, we're gonna pull it up real quick.
Yeah.
Get past the ads and all that good stuff.
It's a sad story, man. You know what I mean? But
it's a weird one. It is sad too for the people involved for sure, but like. The way why I say weird is because of how the I guess the judge or the judicial law, who was ever a part of that, decided to go about it. And the what is it? The Child Protective CPS, they're messed up. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the video up.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna speak with the experience of dealing with Child Protective Services after we see this. You know what I mean? But I can definitely relate. Not to the extent.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool, possibly, if you share your experience after seeing this. Like,
yeah, sure.
Shows how like messed up they are.
Yeah. And it's different, you know.
He said, "Yeah, I'm actually mortgage free."
I hope that is a real mortgage for you. But shout out to all the fathers out there, man. You know what I mean? I shout out to the fathers who are really there for their children, even though you may not be in the household. You know
cool.
What I mean?
So we're just playing the Abba and Preach video, and it's going to show what we're talking about. So fair use. We're only using it to talk about the subject that
hit that like, share, subscribe. You know, we appreciate it. We're the only father-son duo on YouTube. Put a stamp on that. But this right here is crazy though, man. It shows how parents need to get it right. She faces 0. Is that the right video?
Yep.
To having sex with a 13-year-old boy and then becoming pregnant with his child won't face any jail time under a plea deal with prosecutors.
Adam Serrano gave birth to a baby boy. She admitted to having sex with that 13-year-old. The victim's mother, who we're not going to identify in this story, tells us she is not happy with this deal offered to a woman she says ruined her son's life.
Okay. You.
Honestly, that's all we need from that. The rest of it, they just go into more detail. I don't think that's even necessary, to be honest. But right. It's plain to see. But what they're saying is, this 31-year-old woman decided to get impregnated by a 13-year-old boy, which is statutory rape, right? At the very least.
What state were they in?
I think Texas.
Yeah, it's rape regardless because the child, he's not even 18 yet. So
right. But she gets this 31-year-old gets impregnated. It's so weird to say because you have to take into account she's a woman. So this 31-year-old woman gets impregnated by a 13-year-old boy. She faced 0 jail time and gets to keep the baby.
Well, I have to put a stance on something. I'm not pro-choice. I'm pro-life. So because she got pregnant and she decided to keep the child, I pray her on.
Okay. I don't even think that's the top of the conversation. The fact is that she even had relations with a child in the first place is ridiculous.
Right. But because there was the pregnancy as the result of the act, a lot of people may feel that's not my issue either. My issue is that she gets to keep the baby. Well, if the shoe was on the other foot, you'll be labeled as a child sex offender, right? If you're a male child sex offender, do you think you get to keep a child around you? You think that's the best idea? Oh, well, wow! I didn't think of that, son.
Yeah,
that's yeah. You. I can't come back with that.
She did this with a 13-year-old boy,
right? So if she's
her mentality of what is right and wrong for a child at 13 years old, at the age of 13-year-old age, I don't think it's right for she's probably thinking for a baby either. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, man, you got a point, son. Yeah, we didn't talk. You got a point, man.
Yeah.
So when does she be considered a sex offender? And that's why I'm thinking now that maybe that's why the judge didn't decide.
Because how's it gonna work? okay, maybe she's not gonna hurt her child, right? But her child's gonna grow up and eventually turn 13. She's allowed near other, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, let's hope that she ain't that sick in the head where she would go, you know.
She's already. I mean, she got. It's not that she only had sex. This didn't happen one time. It couldn't have happened one time.
I understand. I mean, just on the strength of that alone, I would definitely stamp her as a sex offender. That's first and foremost. Okay. Keeping the child thing, like I said, I would prefer her to keep the child. You know what I'm saying? This isn't a situation where, abortion is a touchy thing, but like I said already, I put myself out there. I'm pro-life. You know what I'm saying? So have the child regardless of the circumstances in which, the act came about.
Again, that's not my issue with it. My issue with it is that she's facing 0 jail time, which is no accountability, and she gets to keep the baby, which is I feel like is unsafe for the child.
Right. And I'm with you, Nick. Yeah, that's a wild one right there. You know what I mean? So I don't agree with her not going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say, after she has the child, throw her ass in jail. What's wrong with that?
Right.
I mean, because this 13-year-old young boy is still a young boy, and I'm going to use that word, emphasize on the boy. The child should be put into, another family custody while the mother is serving her time until that young boy is old enough to take care of the young child, the young baby. You know what I mean?
If he chooses to do so.
Well, even if his parents...
I feel like I think he has a choice in this because, again, this happened when he was 13 years old.
Right.
Does he have the right to say, I don't want to raise that child?
Yes.
Because I was at the age where I did not have the choice to make that decision.
Now let me come from a perspective of a parent.
Yeah.
And
I'm just saying if he was to say, hey, like, this is crazy to me. I'm 20 now, but I didn't want a child when I was 13.
Right.
Does he have that right? Because at that age, he's a child.
So let's
just because he had the ability to make a baby does not mean he had the wherewithal to make that decision at all.
Right. So let's put us in a situation. All right. Since we're real life father and son.
Yeah.
You're 13. However old the girl is, let's just say she's 21, or in this situation 31. Right? How I would look at it as this. One, I would be pissed off with her. And I'll be pissed off with you. Okay? Two, more so at her because she's the adult. All right? Now, I can't make a decision for her to not have a child or have a child. So if she does have a child, I would still want her in jail. Okay? And honestly, I would take my grandchild. Honestly. You know what I'm saying? Because that's still an extension of myself. You know what I'm saying? Through you. You feel me?
But would you raise that as your grandchild or as your child?
It's my grandchild. I mean, nah, that would be your child. And because I would take custody of my grandchild, you would be in the home with me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And as you are going through your schooling, you know what I mean, I would just be there as the father parent. You know what I mean? But you're still the father.
Legal guardian situation. You're just there because you gotta be. Yeah.
Right.
That's interesting, man. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but I would want her out the picture though.
No, for sure.
I would definitely want her out of the picture until she serves her time. You know what I mean? Because every child still needs a mom. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to ever neglect the child from that natural attachment of being with their mom.
All right, here's a cool topic, and I think I was thinking about this the other day and I forgot. But there's a saying about the overbearing mom or something like that, where that mother figure that you're talking about that's supposed to nurture or whatever and all the great stuff for the child does not do that. That woman does not have the capability to do so, and instead of doing what you said, which is give the child a love that can only be felt by a mother, gives that child a pain only a mother could give a child. What do you say to that? Because that type of woman, I would think, would be her, a 30-year-old woman that thinks it's right to sleep with a 13-year-old kid.
Right. I mean, yo, man, I've went through the situations of dealing with my child's mother being physically abusive, verbally abusive, emotionally abusive to my son specifically. And that situation is never good. As a man, you know, you would want to do something, you would want to protect your children by doing something physical. But because she's a woman, I can't. But instead, when I got CPS involved, and this is when, you know, they don't do anything, nothing happens, and your son's still left to be physically abused. That's not a good thing. You know what I mean?
That was the video you wanted me to show, and now I remember. But I mean, it's still like the same type of energy. I don't know.
Well,
go ahead.
It is, you know what I mean, and you know, because things can happen. You know what I'm saying, where the parent in the other situation, the mom, end up killing and murdering the child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or in my situation, the mom who I called CPS on twice, nothing happened, continued the abuse of my son, of your brother. And then when he finally went to the school, they saw some things and they questioned it. And then it was the school that got CPS involved. You know what I'm saying? And then that's how the whole changing of custody and what have you came about. My thing was, I called you twice. You know what I'm saying? And both times you rejected or found nothing to, you know, nothing there. There's no guilt, supposedly.
You know what's funny about this? I'm starting to realize it's not as rare as you would think it is. You've had your issues when it's come to the mother properly raising a child and how detrimental it can turn out to be. And in this story, we're talking about the fact that a woman thought it was I don't know if she thought it was acceptable or not, but she did it anyways. Decided to get pregnant by a 13-year-old boy. Right. And the funny thing is, I can speak on that. In my personal life, is two of my former teachers were women who had sexual relationships with students at the school.
Wow! While you was there?
No, not I think one of them was like right after I left. I was told.
I didn't hear about that one, man.
No. Yeah, two of them. Two.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, female teachers?
Yes, both female.
Now, my thing is this, man. You know, as a man, you know, we always.
My issue is when this is what I want to get back to was the fact that is the lack of accountability we put on women sometimes. You know, right. I think it's because, you know, the mother aspect. You know, we're all someone's mother. We're all a child of a mother, right? And you know, you never want anything to happen to your mother, and so that's extended to all women.
Right.
But in that same breath, there are some women that deserve to be punished for the acts and sins that they've committed.
Well, not only that, but not all women are meant to be mothers. Not all women are real mothers, even though they've given birth. It's like all men ain't real fathers. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We just have the tool to create life, but it's our deeds and actions that determine whether or not we're taking and upholding that standard of father and mother. You know what I'm saying? I once never abused any of my offspring. So not physically, emotionally, or mentally. You know what I'm saying? And there is a such thing as mental abuse. There is a such thing as emotional abuse. You know what I mean? And psychological abuse. You know what I'm saying? And I had 5 children. You're the oldest of my 5. And I went through a mother who was physically abusive and is going through a mother who is psychologically abusive because of her trying to turn you and your brother and sister against me at all matters. You know what I'm saying? Never once saying a good thing about me. If my name is brought up, not one good thing is ever said good about your father, right? And in that sense, that's psychological. Because now, you as a child, of course, you're going to assume that your mom is telling you the truth. You know what I'm saying? And that everything that she says to you is the truth, no matter what. You know? So when she says, you know, your father is this and your father is that, you know, as a child, you know, you're vulnerable to only believe your mom. And especially if you don't know that she's preventing you from seeing your father so you can get a perspective, a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? So to battle those two types of characters at the same time, and this is what I had to go through when you was growing up. You know what I'm saying? And any other father out there who can relate, you know, I had some challenges. You know what I'm saying? And
Hey, Pops, you cut off, but that's all good. I was just gonna say, yeah, that's crazy. Let me see if I can get him back in. So it looks like I lost Pop Trey for a second. But yeah, what we were talking about is essentially like this 30-year-old woman decided to have a child by a 13-year-old boy. They decided to let her keep the child, and she gets no jail time. No, you go, Pops.
Yeah, but you know, like I was saying, man, you know, it was hard, man, and for the grandfather of this young boy, you know what I mean, and the grandmother of this young boy, of this young baby, who was, I would go get custody. You know what I'm saying? I would definitely seek custody from this woman, this 31-year-old woman. And yeah, she should not be she should be now considered a sex offender. You know what I'm saying? Hands down. Hands down. What you think?
I think the same thing, but my issue is and I've seen it personally. It's just like this leniency that we give women in our judicial system.
Mm-hmm.
Not I keep saying ours, but in the judicial system that we live under, there's a lot of leniency given to women, especially in certain situations where the leniency should not be applied.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, yo, man. Speaking through the experience of going to court, of for yourself, for your brother, for your sister, and being denied full custody on 2 occasions, being denied more visitation instead of having you for just a Saturday to Sunday. I wanted you from a Friday to Sunday. From being denied those particular accesses to you and your brother and your sister. I mean, I have a very disdain taste for the court system, and it needs to change. And I've seen some sort of I would say I've seen things happen better, that a lot of judicial cases went towards the father more so. I think now, because a lot more of women are doing harm to children, and a lot more women are doing not just physical harm but psychological harm, and that harm of denying access to the child from the father, that's an abusive act as well, that doesn't get a whole lot of shine on it. You know what I'm saying? If a mom or a father is physically abusive, that's like the only type of abuse to apply on a child. That's not true. You know what I mean? It could be physical, it can be mentally, it could be emotionally, psychologically. You know what I'm saying? All of those are abuses. And like, this system is not built for real justice. Like, this system is not built for the betterment of a child. You know what I'm saying? Because if it was, I would have been denied more time on my visitation with you. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't accused of anything. I wasn't charged with anything, meaning anything immoral, conduct, behavior towards you or your sister or your brother. I wasn't none of that. I just couldn't get one more day with you. You know what I mean? And to me, that was crazy. But it's changing. I see some things getting better. But with the child support issue things and stuff like that, when the mom uses the child support to attack the father and get the father in trouble and put him in jail, to me, that's dead wrong. You know what I'm saying? Especially if that father or that mother is a willing participant of taking care of the children. That's one thing. You know what I mean? It's another thing if that father or mother, runs off and totally neglects the responsibility of financially or the presence. You know what I'm saying? Because that goes a long way more than the money aspect. You know what I'm saying? I was the recipient of child support and I was the payee of child support. And best believe, you can ask your brother, if Damon had a choice to receive child support from his mom or see his mom on a daily or weekly basis, he would prefer to have seen his mom. You know what I'm saying? But his mom decided she didn't want to see him. So as he has grown to be a young man, he's affected. And, you know, he has the right to be affected by the absence of his mom. You know what I'm saying? The neglect from his mom. You know? So, you know, and she didn't receive any justice for being physically abusive, you know, to her child. I don't think she did, you know, other than her losing custody of him, you know, to me, you know what I mean? So, like I said, man, I still have a sour taste, you know, and you know, I feel for that young boy, but his parents should definitely take that child away from that 31-year-old. And maybe, you know, like I said, man, I'm speaking from a parent and perspective. And if that was you at your age, 13, and her being 31, yo, throw her ass in jail, or I'm coming after that child. I'm coming after my grandson or granddaughter. And I'm gonna raise that child in my household with you in it. You know what I mean? That's what I would do. So whoever those parents are, man, you know, go get your grandchild.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. Because last thing they should have done is give the child back to her, or right. I don't know if she's had the child yet, or what the case is with her being pregnant. Right. I'm assuming she's the fact that this is news. She's either had the baby or she's along the way to have the baby. But in any sense, she should not be the one raising it. Not if she doesn't know what to do around a 13-year-old boy.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Damn, that's a hot topic, man. That's a good one right there, son.
Yeah. I was watching The Boys. I've been watching them for a minute, and when I watched, I was like, "Damn, what in the world?"
Right. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
It's not even the fact that it happened; it's just the reaction that we took. Like I keep saying, the judicial system took. No jail time. She gets to keep the baby.
What kind of? I don't understand that one, man. No, like zero. Like she ain't go. Like, did the parents press charges? The young boy's parents?
I don't think so. I think they are trying to get custody for the baby, but pressing charges, I don't think so. But no, they decided not to throw her in jail, at the very least.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's a good one to even. That's a good one, man. Wow. Well, God bless. You know what I mean? I have grandchildren right now, man. 2 grandsons, and
I did honestly. I'm just thinking about this, and the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I didn't know you can actually legitimately be known to do something. You're known to be guilty, but because of whatever reason, you're not given the punishment for that crime that you committed.
Right.
You're guilty for doing a crime, but they found a reason not to give her jail time for a crime that she knowingly committed.
I don't know if this has anything to do with this particular case, but I did hear that a law was passed for people who commit sex offenses against minors. Their punishment will be less than what it would be, you know what I'm saying, in the past. I may be mistaken, but I don't think I am. I don't know if that bill is in effect right now, but I think it was passed, or it was something to do with it being on the statute for being signed. That I think it was in California or something like that. I think it was California, man. Everything goes on in California first. You know what I mean? But I think it was in California where whoever if an adult commits sex acts on a child, they don't get the full book thrown at them in layman's terms. You know what I'm saying?
Morgan Freeman said, "What are we going to do about it? Protest for longer jail sentences for women? Good luck." That's not what we're saying. I'm not saying the sentences should be longer. All I'm saying is, if you're wrong for something, you should go to jail for it.
Yeah, put her in jail. Period.
And because you're a woman, should not be a reason why you should not go to jail.
Exactly. And
like, I wish I could live by that. Hey man, because I got curly hair. Come on, give me some leniency, dog.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man. I mean, yo, if the shoe fits, wear it. You know what I'm saying? If you do the crime, you got to do the time. You know what I mean? And to not receive any jail time, and she ain't the only one. Like, you know what I mean? There was some I think there was like a rich white kid somewhere who committed rape. You know what I'm saying, on some other woman, and he ain't getting no jail time. You know what I mean? Or it was the judge saw it fit that he didn't think jail was right for him, so he didn't put him in jail for raping a young woman. You know what I'm saying? I think that was dead ass wrong. You know what I mean? So the focus of this discussion that you and I are having right now, son, is when somebody doesn't go to jail when they deserve to go to jail. You know what I mean? Like, she deserves to go to jail, regardless if she was a female or male. If it was a dude, you'd be like, yo, man, lock that motherfucker out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because I'm thinking, like, yo, it's one thing to not get caught. They ain't catch you. Yeah, all right. They ain't catch you yet. But you got them for doing it. You got the evidence for them doing it. They did it.
Right. Yeah.
We know you did it. Like, what? That's so weird to me.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. That's wow. Man, we gotta stay up on that story, man. Yeah, I want to keep track of that, Joey. We gotta keep track of that story, man. You know what I mean? Do an update on a later show or something. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, like you said, I hope that the victim's family, the boy, they get justice for that, because that's. She took his whole, like, I mean, if his family does decide to do what you did, his whole life is, as a child, is gone. He's a father now at 13.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, it doesn't have to be. And like I said, if I was the parent, like I'm your parent, you know what I'm saying, I would still want you to have your youthful, you know what I'm saying, life. However, you know, it's going to come with some, you know, responsibilities.
I'm not saying this. I don't doubt you would try your best to make it a better situation. Right. But the situation is still what it is. I have a 13-year-old child, and I have a child of my own.
Right. I mean, man. Yeah, man. You know, I gotta put this out there. You know what I mean? You know, your great grandmother, she was about, I want to say about 14, 15 when she had your grandma. So, you know, stuff like that was, you know what I mean? And my grandfather was around the same age as her. It wasn't like he was an older man and, you know, did anything like that with a minor. But back in the days, man, you know, that was normal, having children at a young age, you know. And now it's looked upon as wrong, obviously, you know what I'm saying, because of the age and the mature factor. But the mature level back then of a 13-year-old or 14-year-old is totally different from the mature level today. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot less chores today that is put upon children than it was back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I have to admit that, because there's not a whole lot of you know, responsible acts that are happening inside these homes nowadays. Because you can tell when these kids get on the street, you know what I'm saying, or they get into school. I work at the school, and you can tell, man, like, yo, man, they don't have any chores at home. They must not, because they don't have any discipline within themselves. You know what I'm saying? Just how they conduct themselves, man. It's just, but we're in that day and age now, man, where everything that was created from this system and created from a people that had evil intentions for others is coming to an end. You know what I'm saying? And this is the fall of America that we're living in right now. So we ain't seen nothing yet. All
right. Anything else you want to share before we get out of here, Pops?
Yo, man, shout out to Ja Morant. They suspended my brother for another 8 games. You know what I mean? I hope he took the time out to, get his life in order. I just don't like the way, and I said this in the previous podcast, when we start dogging each other out in public, I'm not with that no more, man. I'm not with the whole, disrespecting, downing our own in public. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if he was wrong or right or whatever, I'm not with the whole bashing our people in public. You know what I'm saying? I'm not with that, man. So, enough respect to him. Man, good luck. You know what I mean? But my thing is, there's always another league to play in, and Africa has its own professional basketball league.
Well,
Let's go.
All I gotta say on that subject is, don't do anything stupid that's gonna F up what you got going on.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It may not just be you, maybe the people around you influencing you, but in that case, I ask you this: why are you around people that can influence you to do what you should not be doing at that level?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think there's a point in time, and everyone's point in time is different, where you get to a level in life where you don't do what you were doing back then.
Mm-hmm.
I can speak on myself. Right. There's certain things I used to do that I won't even think about doing anymore because I'm here now. So in Ja Morant's case, I would just be like, yo, like, you're here now, man. So yeah, you need to stop doing what you was doing when you weren't here now, because you're here now.
Right.
No, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not bashing him or anything. I'm just saying, if he was my brother, I'd be like, yo, bro, what are you doing?
Right. You would pull him to the side. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he, hopefully he has somebody in his corner right now that's doing that for him, man. You know what I'm saying?
I think he should have already had someone like that. And I'm not blaming him entirely. I think it has. He does take accountability for it, and a little bit of accountability goes, I guess, to the people around him.
Right. Right. You know what I mean? And outside of basketball, man, we only see, we only see the players play for a couple of hours on TV, man. 22 and a half hours, we don't. So, we may think we know somebody because we watch them on TV for a brief moment, man. But that, I think Kyrie said it. Like, you only see me on TV for 2.5 hours, and now you think you know me. Yeah, we don't, man. We don't know these gentlemen. But shout out to Ja Morant, man. All right.
Yeah, hell of a player.
Hell of a player.
Play like MJ, I swear. Wow. But I think that's about time for us. Ended on the MJ note. This is TwoTreys podcast.
TwoTreys.
Hey, Pops, I was working the other day, and there was this barbershop, and you wouldn't guess the name of it. It was J23.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I walked in, met the owner. He was a super cool dude. I even showed him. I was like, "Yo, man, like, it's so crazy for me to walk in here because I have this podcast with my dad, and we call it TwoTreys too." So it was funny. Yeah. I showed him the video and stuff. He was laughing and stuff. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. There was no coincidences, man.
No, sir.
Not at all.
But yeah, like I said, this has been TwoTreys podcast. We
Two
appreciate you guys for joining in the discussion.
Let's not forget too, man.
Yeah.
Tell the viewers, man. Yo, Sophia Stewart Part 2 coming soon. Part 2.
Ooh, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, buddy.
I think yeah, just stay tuned. We're going to have Sophia Stewart on. I'm gonna talk to some of the people we had on last year, and see if they want to come on again.
Shout out to Dr. Elena Porter, the human rights expert who we had on the show last year. She wants to come back on and give us an update on reparations and establishing nationality through international law and what have you. So she want to come on a future show or episode and give us an update on that situation as well too. So shout out to Elena Porter. Salute.
Yeah. So shout outs to her. And like I said, I'll see if we had other people on the show last year too. So I'm gonna see if they Soul of the Light Daylight. He was on Soul Journey Daylight. He was on and he
Soul Journey True. Yes, sir.
Yeah, he has spoken about his social media platform, which is awesome.
Salute.
If you have not gotten that, let me go ahead and say I had that in the banner real quick. Probably saved somewhere. Man. I'm gonna shout him out since he just joined in. But yeah, if Questman, he's got his own social media platform. So if you're tired of Instagram, what else is there? I don't even know. Twitch. No, Twitch is for streaming. What is that?
Hey, yo, man,
TikTok.
You know they shutting that down, right?
Huh? Which one?
TikTok.
Probably. It's in China.
Nah, they are. Well, it's on Biden's desk supposedly to shut it down.
Oh, cool. So for all you people that are about to lose your TikTok account, go over to souljourneyoflife.org and you can have a platform without even skipping a beat.
Indeed.
Yes, sir.
Quest man, salute, man. Assalamu alaikum salam, beloved. Appreciate the love, man.
Yeah, man. You got here at the perfect time. We were about to shut it down. I saw you. I was like, hold on. Let's get it.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man. All right.
Oh, yeah. One last comment. Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessings. Wa alaikum salam. It was written 804. We're about to hop out of here, though. So if you guys want to tune into the topic of conversation we have for today, you can always just rewatch the video after the live is ended.
Leave a comment.
Yeah, for sure. That has been our episode of TwoTreys podcast. This is episode 37 that we're on. Yeah, stay tuned. We're gonna have some more guests on, some more interesting topics, and it's always gonna be love here.
Word.
Anything else you want to say, Pops?
Not at all, man. Appreciate the viewers. Appreciate the comments. You appreciate you, Morgan Freeman. Whoever Morgan Freeman is. Shout out to you, man. Tell a lot soon. Be hard work. Yes, sir. I got you, Quest, man. Just let me know whenever you want to. We want to tag team and do a live together, man. You're more than welcome to come back on here, or we can come on your platform. Appreciate it. Shout out to Bro Sanchez, Live TV, the live podcast, Flat Earth Power. Shout out to my children, yourself, Zaire, Damon, Aaliyah, Trishay, my grandsons, Caleb, and Legend. Man, shout out to everybody, man. Love y'all.
All right, we're out.
The only father and son duo on YouTube, man. Let's hold it down.
Pops, you have a good night.
Love you, son.
Love you too. Absolutely.
All right. Assalamu alaikum, man.
Walaikum salam. Let's get out of here, man. Let's enjoy the rest of our night. And to our viewers, y'all enjoy the rest of your night too.
Peace.
Whoa.